Let me ask you a question. Have you been trying to lose weight after 40, but no matter what you do, the scale just doesn't seem to be moving the right way? If so, this video is for you. So maybe you started working out, maybe you've been trying to eat healthier, maybe you're drinking more water and thinking, okay, what else am I supposed to do? Before you go on another diet, start cutting out everything you love. There are 5 things I want you to take a closer look at because sometimes it's not one big thing keeping you stuck. It's a few everyday habits that can quietly add up over time. And in this video, I'm giving you 5 practical things to look at and what you can start doing different. But before we get started, welcome if you're new here. Welcome back if you've been rocking with me for a while. It's your girl, Chelsea C, your fitness, nutrition, wellness coach. I'm always going to do the most, so you don't have to. Just remember that. I'm doing all the work, the heavy lifting. I'm going to disseminate all this information, then give it to you nice and easy. Your job is to execute. Okay. See, I help women 40 and over create healthy habits, feel better in their bodies, and build a life they actually enjoy. Now, let's get into it. Before we start, I want to be clear. I'm not saying one food magically causes weight gain, and I'm definitely not telling you that you can never eat any of these things again. See, weight loss is more complicated than that, right? The human body is very complicated. But these are 5 things I would seriously, that's how serious I am about this, seriously take a look at if you're eating them regularly and wondering why the weight isn't moving or it's going up. All right, so number 1, if it resonates, take it. If it doesn't, just let it slide. Too much dairy. My cheese lovers out there, I know. Cheese, milk, yogurt. Those are the 3 primary ones that most people, ways that we're eating dairy, right? Cheese, milk, or yogurt. Now, before the dairy lovers come for me in the comments, okay? I'm not saying dairy is bad. And I'm not saying everybody needs to cut out dairy. But from my 20 years of experience working with over 10,000 women, I've seen a lot of women eating more dairy than they realize. Cheese on this, cream in that, a big bowl of yogurt, milk in the coffee, which is not a big thing. And some dairy products, especially things like cheese and cream, are very calorie dense and the portions can add up quickly. And for some women, dairy can contribute to digestive discomfort or bloating. But the crazy thing is that most of us have grown up on milk, right? What was the saying? Milk does a body good. Then there was the campaign, the milk mustache, and the actors. I can't remember what they would say. So we've grown up on that. So a lot of times you could maybe be lactose intolerant or have digestive comfort or bloating and not even know it. I'll tell you a story about a friend of mine. Won't even have a name for her. But me and about 3 or 4 other friends went on a girls' trip to Solvang, California, several years ago. And we all stayed, seems like in the same, couple of us stayed together, whatever, the sleeping arrangements were. But anyway, we were around each other all day. We went to the winery, we did all kinds of stuff. We had a great time. Definitely should hit up Solvang. But one of the girls, one of our friends kept having gas. Like every time we turned around, oops, excuse me. And then finally she said, are you guys don't have gas like this? And we're looking at each other like, not like that. And as we started talking and later on, and maybe a little bit during the trip, I was off duty, so I wasn't going to tell her all the stuff she needed to change. But as we started talking, started realizing she ate a lot of dairy and some other things that was causing her bloating and gas. But because she was so used to being gassy And being uncomfortable, she just thought like that's what everybody, right? Isn't everybody's body like that? So you do have to be careful because sometimes you just need to notice, right? Notice if you are having a lot of bloating, a lot of gas, and digestive discomfort. And sometimes you're not, but it still could be affecting your weight loss or weight gain. So if you're over 40, feeling bloated, struggling with your weight, I'm not saying dairy is automatically the problem, but it may be worth paying attention to how much you're eating and how your body feels. One more quick story. It's actually one of my clients, will call her Danielle. Um, in my 8 and 12 week programs, always start everybody off with being aware of what you're eating, right? So you're tracking your food. Trust me, tracking is a game changer. You want to start that today, do it. Anywho, um, I kind of have a way that I have them do it, and then they report it. And one of the goals, she knew she ate a lot of cheese and dairy. So I'm going to cut back on cheese only twice a week or something like that. So we're about week 1, week 2. She calls me up on a call. She's like, we need to bump up cheese to 4 times a week. She's like, I really have a cheese problem. And she never um, paid attention. Like she would put cheese on her um, salads, nothing wrong with that. She would have string cheese. She would have cheese. She was having a lot of cheese in different places all day. And so that tracking kind of helped her figure out like, oh, I am having a lot of this. And we did end up cutting it back and she started feeling better and she actually did lose weight. So dairy could be your downfall. But if it's not, let's go to number 2. Let's see how many we have today. Refined bread and flour heavy foods. So, what does that mean? Breads, pastas, crackers, white flour snacks. So, like, I'm even going to put, like, even I don't even think it's bread, like Cheez Its and those goldfish, a lot of box things. So, listen, I enjoy bread. I actually do love bread. So, I'm not trying to take your bread and your cheese and just make your life miserable. But here's what I want you to think about. How much nutrition are you actually getting from bread? And how full does it keep you? See, a lot of highly refined flour products are easy to eat and easy to overeat, right? They're really soft, melts in your mouth. Um, at restaurants, sometimes they have that bomb bread when it come out, it's all warm. You put that butter on it, right? It's easy to overeat. You sit there, you eat the bread, then when your meal comes, you're like, right? But it doesn't keep you satisfied for long. It'll keep you full, but it's not nutrient dense. So say you have the toast, nothing wrong with toast, but then you're hungry again. Then you grab something else, then something else. And before you know it, you've eaten a whole lot, eaten a lot without feeling like you really ate a satisfying meal. Okay. I'm not saying never eat bread. I'll give you an example for myself. And I tell all my clients like I do different things. So I never say, Joy, eat like I eat, okay? Because most people aren't and don't want to. Okay. So just for the record, sometimes I'll have kale for breakfast, sauteed kale, oil on it, some olive oil, avocado oil, some cumin. Anyway, I saute it. I have it. Don't judge me. I won't judge you. Okay. So when I was working in person, um, City College, I would go in the morning, have a 2-hour class, and then have a break and so on. So I usually have my kale, have a class, and then maybe about an hour after the class, I'd get hungry and eat. I think that one day didn't have kale. So I was like toast. I'm like, okay, certainly the toast is gonna at least hold me, right? I think I just put some butter on it. I didn't put anything on it. Had the toast. Literally halfway through the 2-hour class, I was starving. And I'm like, I know that, well, like what I'm telling you, right? I know that they say that it's not nutrient dense or that you'll get hungry quicker. but I never really experienced it because I think when I do have toast, usually is with something else, right? Like toast and egg. But just having bread, now I might have two pieces, did not hold. I was literally starving when I left work, and I was like, noted that nutrients is about the nutrients, nutrient dense. It's calorie dense. Yes, those two pieces of toast probably 500 calories versus my kale, which was probably literally 80 calories, but I do bushels of it. So it's very calorie dense, so my body can use it, right? So it's taking time. Oh, use it for hair, eyes, whatever. You're doing bread, very calorie dense, but nutrition deficient, right? Hope you're following me. Knowledge is king. So your body's like, oh, this is 500 calories, but it's not a lot of density, so we're just going to kind of store it or kick it out the back end. Okay. So um, I'm not saying never eat bread. I just want you to be cautious of the type, the amount, and how often. Again, you could track. It's just a bonus for you. I'm throwing it in there. I'm not even going to charge you for it. Do it. Also, I want you to think of something. You may or may not believe what I'm saying. So try it out. But I don't know, probably around the same age. Do you remember paper mache? It was like water and like paste. I'm not sure what it was. We would mix it together. Then you would dip it. And I remember we used to have balloons and we would stick to the balloons, right? The paper. You dip the paper in that paste and water, and it makes kind of this like film that would allow you to stick those pieces of paper on the balloons. That's kind of what bread does in your body, right? You got the bread, you got water, you're going to drink some water, your stomach has uric acid, some type of acid, maybe not uric. When it comes together, it basically is making a film. In the body, we don't call it paper mache. In the body, we call it mucus. Mucus is not good. Okay. If your body has a lot of mucus, that's where a lot of disease and things come from. I'll do another video on another day about mucus. But I just want you to realize that it does cause that mucus in the body. Okay. So be aware of bread, the type, ideally if you are sourdough, um, freshly made, 3 ingredients. I want you to go in the refrigerator, or maybe you don't have your bread in the refrigerator. If you have some bread, and I want you to look at the ingredients when you get a chance. It should say like water, flour, maybe one other thing. So maybe 3, maybe 4. These breads today have at least 50. Okay, maybe not 30. Go check. Okay, then come back to me, pause it, and then leave a comment. Love to hear what you have to say about that bread. All right, so we have dairy, we have bread. Third, and I kind of talked about it, jumped ahead in the bread category, but it is different. Number 3 is ultra processed snack foods. Now, this is where we need to have a real conversation. And I think I already mentioned goldfish, right? Cheetos. What other ones did I say? I forgot. Cookies, Hostess cakes, Twinkies. You know the all I'm talking about. Those foods are incredibly easy to eat, right? They actually make them very palatable, so it just kind of melts in your mouth. Okay. You don't sit down and have 3 Cheetos and then make them was Lay's potato chips. You can't just eat one. They doctored it up where you can't just eat. Okay. So no one just eats 3 Cheetos. You look down and say, who ate all of these? And the answer is you ate them. See, the issue isn't that you're a bad person if you don't have discipline. These foods can be very easy to overconsume and often don't fill you up in the same way a balanced diet does. So start paying attention. How often are you eating real meals? And how often are you grazing on packaged snacks? Now, I'm a snacker and I encourage snacking for my clients that like to snack, but it's the type of snacks. Do not snack do not want to be snacking often on those high processed snacks. Okay. I mean, every so often have a little ho ho ding dong, or something like that. But if you're like going to the aisle, getting them, even for your kids, because what happens is your kids are your partner. You're like, oh, I don't eat Twinkies. But if they're in the house, and they're open, and you're rushing out, you might grab one, or maybe you sit at home and you're bored. There, you're gonna eat it. I had my friend had came over and had brought some Doritos. I don't know when's the last time I actually have eaten Doritos, have went to the store and gotten Doritos. Now back in the day, I did like some Doritos, and I did like the Cool Ranch. But anyway, since I know better, I'm doing better, and no shade on Dorito lovers, okay? But I just don't eat them. But she left them in my cupboard, and guess what happened? I ate them because they were in the house. So that's another tactic. Um, if those snacks are in the house, you're going to eat them. If you just go get a one-off little baby pack of Cheetos, Doritos, or whatever, you're better off doing that every so often than bringing the Costco size bag, um, what Fritos, chips, cookies, Twinkies in the house because you're going to eat them and they're going to be eaten too. Okay, because those little things throughout the day, they count, and again, they're very high in calories and man-made um, material. A lot of that stuff isn't food, so your body doesn't know what to do with it, and so it stores it. And who knows? Might wake up with a tail one morning. Who knows? I don't know. In 50 years, so we don't want that. So we want to reduce those things. All right, on to number 4, sugary drinks. So that includes soda, yes, diet soda, sweet tea, sugary coffee drinks, and juice drinks. Okay, and let me tell you about one of my clients. She wasn't doing anything extreme. I think she was, but she did like some soda. One of the biggest changes she was that we had to make was cutting out her soda because everything else was pretty good. Um, so she started drinking more water. We're doing water, tea, coconut water, infused water. I love infused water, like the spa water, where they put the cucumbers sometimes, and sometimes with the cucumbers and the oranges, and sometimes they have like strawberry and cucumber, and you just be drinking it. I'm like, why don't I ever do this at home? Why don't you ever? You can drop some strawberries in your water. I love oranges. Lemon's supposed to be really good, but you can get creative with that. So um, we started doing that, and literally within 3 weeks, she dropped 10 pounds. Now, she was drinking a lot of sodas. I think she was drinking, I mean, not like a lot, but maybe 2 to 3 a day. I don't know the ounces. I don't know if she's doing now. The small is 16 ounces, right? So just by cutting down on her soda, we didn't really change much else. She lost 10 pounds. Now, I'm not saying everybody watching this is going to cut out soda and lose 10 pounds in 3 weeks. But for her, soda had become a regular habit, and cutting it out made a big difference. And here's what's really interesting. Once she stopped drinking the sodas, she wasn't craving food as much. And that's something I want you to pay attention to. Sometimes it's not just the calories in the drink, it's what we drink that leads you to what you eat. It's what you eat after you drink, sorry. Right? You're having a soda, then you want something salty, then you want something sweet, then you're snacking. I know me, I don't drink a lot of sodas, but when I do, I always want to have it with something, some popcorn, some chips or something, right? A burger. Before you know it, then you're snacking. You've consumed a lot more than you intended. And so there's actually been a several studies on diet soda. So I always say diet soda is actually, I don't want to say worse, but for today, we're going to say worse than regular soda. Because even though it says 0 calories, it actually has been shown to make you want to eat more. Okay. So they show like you have the 0 calories, but now sort of like I was saying, from sweet, you want to, it does something in your brain where you want it. Okay. So if you're drinking diet soda all day, every day, I'm not telling you to panic or saying you can never have enough soda. Maybe try cutting back a couple of weeks, pay attention to your body, have one a day, or doing five, do two a day. They're very addictive, you know. So you got to have something else to drink. Okay. Um, Pay attention to your body once you start cutting back. Are you craving less sweets? Are you drinking more water? Do you feel different? Because sometimes the best thing you can do is stop guessing and start paying attention. And if plain water is boring, like I said, get you some spa water, some oranges, lemon. But stay away from carbonated. Carbonated water is better than soda with the carbonation after a while. But if you need to wean yourself on carbonation, get the carbonated water for now. You'll be okay. And now they got all those probiotic sodas and stuff. I haven't looked into them. I can't say they're great or worse, but they're probably a little better than the normal sodas. Okay? So, whatever helps you drink more water, make it work for you. Okay? You're 70% water. Let's do that. All right. If you're hanging with me, I appreciate it. We're on number 5. I tell you, these things work. You work it. Okay? This one's is going to get all of us. Always gets my clients. Portion sizes have slowed. So number 5 is your portion sizes. Sorry, I'm getting excited. I'm getting ahead of this. Okay. Portion sizes have slowly but surely gotten bigger over the decades. And I'm just going to say over the past 20 years, but it's been 30, 40 years. Every year, I think they just get bigger. I have an example. I don't go to the movie theater that often because I'd rather watch a movie at home. But every so often, I'll go to the movies. And I definitely don't drink a lot of soda. Very, very rarely. But sometimes for nostalgic reasons, I gotta give me a soda pop. You know what I mean? So anyway, one time I went, but when I go, because I practice what I preach for the most part, I always get a small. So I was like, yes, I talked to the girl. Can I get a small um, root beer? That's my favorite, my guilty pleasure. And then she's like, yeah, sure. She pulls out this cup. It looked as big as this. Not this big. It was probably half of this. And I'm like, that's that's a small. I literally said that. She's like, yeah. So it was basically the size of what large used to be 10, 20 years ago. I haven't been to the movie theater in years. I don't know what's changed since the last time I've been. And then she said, this is the small. And then it was like a kitty cup, right? And she's like, this is the kitty cup. And the kitty cup was the used to be the small. So what used to be small 10, 15 years ago is now the kitty cup. And what now is a small is now, I feel like that was a large. And you know how those things go. A large, like those sodas are this big and this big. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, because I had been gone for so long into the movie theater, I could tell the difference. But if I've always went, I probably wouldn't have figured that out, right? So and it would be okay if it was just the movies, but it's not, right? Look at restaurant portions, and us Americans, we like things big, right? And that is what is causing a lot of health issues in society right now. But restaurant portions are huge. Drinks, snacks. I remember chips used to be this size, and the super size was here. Now the super size is the regular size of chips, right? Um, look at the size of some bowls and plates we're using at home too, right? But most of the culprit things are outside of them. See, over time, bigger portions have become normal. When I go out to a restaurant, I usually either split something with my friends or I definitely know I'm taking it home because I'm a leftover queen. Okay, so, and for some of my clients, what I'll tell them is to say, when they bring it out, say, can I get a to-go thing? And you could half it already and then eat what's on your plate if you're kind of used to eating whatever's on your plate. Okay. Um, it's too much food. Sorry. Getting ahead of myself. Okay, so basically, when something feels normal because everybody's doing it, we don't always realize how much we're actually eating. Now, I'm not telling yourself to starve yourself or weigh every piece of food, but I'm starting to say again, pay attention. And a lot of that with the food portions, pay attention to how you're feeling. I'm kind of full. I'm away. Like this food, I tell someone, I'm like, this is not the last supper. You will eat again. So portion it out. Eat. If you're still hungry, eat some more. But if you're not, you don't have to eat everything on your plate. Okay? The portions of something, it's not having the fries, it's having the supersized fries, right? It's not having the burger necessarily. It's having a triple burger with cheese, with onions. I'm getting hungry. Right? So that one thing, just cutting all your portions in half, can really make a difference. So if you're struggling to lose weight after 40, I don't want you to walk away from this video thinking, great, now Chelsea says I can't eat anything, right? We love that bread, that cheese. That's not what I'm saying. I want you to become a detective about your own habits. Take a look at how much dairy you're eating, how often you're eating refined flours, how much packaged snack food you're consuming, what you're drinking, and whether your portions have slowly gotten bigger over the years. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just pick one. This week, pick one. Make one adjustment. Pay attention to how you feel. Remember, you got to be consistent with these things. And it's okay if you're consistent, fall off, get back on. It's okay. Don't just stop, right? And then keep building. Because after 40, the goal isn't to eat as little as possible. The goal is to create habits to help you feel good, have energy, and maintain a healthy weight without feeling like you're on a diet for the rest of your life. Okay? And if you're a woman over 40 who wants practical conversations like this about nutrition, wellness, energy, mindset, we're talking about travel, we're talking about life, we're talking about enjoying life, I'm gonna be on here talking about all kinds of stuff. And most of it does pertain to things that I am doing, I have done, either I coached or I'm living it now, or solo traveling. Subscribe to the channel and share this video with a friend who needs it. And if you're wondering, okay, Chelsea, what am I supposed to eat? You just told me what not to eat. Stay tuned for my next video. We're gonna break down the foods I recommend eating more of to help stay satisfied for a healthy weight, and feel good after 40. All right, I'm Chelsea C. Take it easy. Take care of yourself. Till the next time.